All right, so we've made it down the list to the top spot. I'm just having a look now. Yeah, that is definitely the last one. We're going to talk about some honourable mentions after, but not actually discuss them. Just sort of say what barely missed being on the list, because there's a few that there's a few that are my honourable mentions that have been talked about already, but there's a few that haven't. So, but my favourite game of the year, by far, and it is also my most surprising game of the year, because who the fuck heard of this game before it came out?
We all know what it is.
Yeah, we all know what it is. Do you want to say it on the count of three, yeah?
Go on then.
1, 2, 3, Rocket League!
League!
Yay! I should have bought some party poppers, man. But Rocket League it's just the best game ever made. It's so good. It's so good. So I'm pretty sure most people who have played that game got it free with PlayStation Plus, obviously on PS4. I literally, I downloaded it because I download everything that's free. And then, I looked at it, I thought, okay, it looks sort of fun. And my mate was like, mate, it's the best game ever. It's car football. I was like, it sounds alright. Played it, hooked ever since then. I don't think there's been...
going strong today.
You what?
You're still going strong with it today as well.
Mate, I think I must have played it for about 50 hours on PS4, and then I bought it on PC because everyone left me on PS4. And I've played about... Actually, I don't know, I haven't got Steam open, but it's over 110 hours. Oh, it's actually 118 hours, I know that. But it's just so good. It's car football. What more do you want? And for an indie, for Psyonix, just a studio that... I know they made All-Star Battle, whatever the other game is, that car game they made.
Battle acrobatic car rocket thing.
Yeah, that. They've made a game that... It's not like they've just come out of nowhere with this concept, but... Man, this is the first game of this type I've played. I didn't play the prequel things, but it's incredible. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. They've added, new arenas, and there's DLC for different cosmetic stuff, and you get little antennas and toppers, and you can customize your car, and it's just great. It's so fun, man. It's got a really cool physics, little physics system in there. You can boost in the air and sort of fly somewhat around, and it's just great. Obviously, it's all competitive multiplayer, but there is some of that's where most of the fun is, but there's that sort of... You can play against bots, but they're a bit shit, so there's no real challenge there. I'd say there isn't a lot of game types, which is the one thing I would say I would like to see more of. They have added sort of the mutators, so there's different game
ice
variants.
Hockey, man.
Yeah, you can play car ice hockey, so there's a puck instead of a ball. There's a mutator where you can play with a cube, ball, and that's crazy. I actually I just can't emphasize how fun that game is. What am I missing? What else do I say?
There's nothing to say, because it is what it is, but what it is the best game of the year.
Put it this way, Resident Evil was on my list, and Metal Gear Solid 5 was on my list, and those are incredible games that I've had hours and hours of fun with, but nothing quite the same as watching someone miss an open goal, man, in a car with a fucking shark fin on top of it. How does that happen?
Box.
Or a boombox.
Or a hard hat.
Or a hard hat. Oh, boy. Oh, listen. It's just so...
Just go buy it.
Just go and buy that game and play with me now. I'm an hour and 360F on Steam.
I think they made me buy this game, and I really enjoyed it as well. So...
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. That's right, because Joe hasn't got a PS4, so he didn't, play it at all, and then he took our word for it that it's good, and it's just fantastic. It's so fun. I want to stop this now and play it. That's how fun it is, but, there's no, for a game that's number one on my list, there really isn't much more for me to say, but, I'll let you tell us yours now, Joe, then. Because I've got a feeling Dan's is going to be Rocket League as well.
You know what? I'm going to take Joe's place here and just say, my favourite and most surprising is
I suppose it's best to get the talk out the way for Rocket League, isn't it? Have you got anything to add to what I've said?
Anything to add? Oh, I don't know. Just it is the best. Oh, it's so good. It's car football, ladies and gentlemen. Just buy it. Just fucking buy it, man. You'd be... There we go, Rocket League. Round of applause.
I fucking love that game, man. Psyonix, man. Literally, just make sure you don't ruin that game, please. Just That's all I want. I just want that game to just be like that forever, just preserved in its mechanical beauty forever.
I will still be playing this game years to come, I guarantee.
You know, like people talk about grandparents saying like, "Oh, back in my day, man, I've like talking about Pokemon and all this, man. I won't be talking about it. I'll be playing it, man, with my grandchildren. Like they'll be sitting on my lap doing boosts in the air, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's amazing. So yeah, that's Rocket League. Mine and Dan's most surprising and favourite game of the year. But what about you then, Joe? What have you got? I actually can't even think what.
I know what it is.
Hang on, let me see. You've had Just Cause, you've had Fallout. Oh, actually, I actually do know what it is. Actually, I forgot that you did tell me before. What it is. But I actually did forget. Okay. What? I actually genuinely. I know you guys are thinking I was chatting shit then, but I actually forgot what it was. But what is your
full-on presenter mode? Then you were like trying to make it all interesting for the audience.
Yeah, I wonder who won, man. Yeah, I actually. Yeah. Okay, what's your number one favourite game of the year, Joe?
My number one favourite game of the year, Aaron, is The Witcher 3. Which is also it's also my most surprising game of the year because I knew fuck all about it before this. Like, if you'd asked me in January what The Witcher 3 was, I would have said it was a bit like I wouldn't have known the difference between The Witcher 3 and Dragon Age. And I think I was vaguely aware that it was a man that ran around with a sword. But that's about it. That's about it.
That is a bit vague.
It is a bit vague. But so it was about the week of it coming out, and I was I think I must have started paying attention to it and saw a YouTube video or something on it, and it was May, so not much was coming out really. So I ended up watching like 15 minutes of it, and I thought it just looked excellent. So I picked it up, and the one overwhelming thing about it for me was the fact that the world it exists in is so well realized and so like it helps that it's completely like it's a beautiful game. Like honestly, it's so good looking. But as well as that, and bear in mind, I knew nothing about like the canon or the franchise before even playing this. I had no idea about any of it. I think I looked up a 10-minute YouTube video that summed it up for me. But it's completely took me aback the way like. The first week I must have put 50 hours, 60 hours into it. It was just incredible. Like it's such a good game. Like you walk through like this completely miserable kind of devoid, like poverty-stricken world, which is, you know.
Hang on. I didn't know you played in Erdington, man.
I didn't.
I'm sorry. I'm okay. Go on. I've made myself laugh from that.
So walking through Erdington, not getting mugged. So you're in this absolutely gorgeous, completely well realized world, and like you're seeing like bodies hanging from trees, and it's just just miserable. It's horrible. Like, but in the best possible way. Like the aesthetic of the game is just it nails it perfectly. The atmosphere of the world, talking to the peasant folk as they're scattered around in their little towns with their little notice boards, because they didn't have phones back then. They just had notice boards, and they'd wait for you to come through with your sword and take care of whatever beasts they're having trouble with. But like, I think it might have been like, I don't know, 15 hours into the game or something like that. You come across this dilemma, and it's this guy called the Bloody Baron? Is it the Bloody Baron?
Oh, yeah.
In it? I think.
Yeah, the Bloody Baron. Yeah.
And like this is the part. This quest line is the part of the game. I was completely flabbergasted by it. Because I'm not going to ruin anything for you, but there is literally no good outcome. Like there is, you can't do this in a way that makes you feel nice and good. You make some 50-50 choices throughout the quest, and it really does affect obviously it's quite a big thing, because it affects whether certain characters are going to be there or not for the rest of the game. And like you can't do it right, and there's like multiple things that happen in this quest line, like multiple times where you're presented with choices, and each one I think ends up like making somebody like, you know, either, you know, it makes someone's life hell basically, no matter which way you go. And it's really like, that was the point when it's like, I was kind of like, I was sucked into this game. Like it was, the world had completely held me by that point, because it was so like, it was almost like the game is in the same way that The Last of Us did in the past. It's almost like the game wants you to feel the experience the way the developers imagined it, and a lot of games avoid that completely. They won't ask, like, there's always a good option that you can win. And I tell you what, at the end of The Witcher, which I'd completed after about 100+ hours, you can win. You know, ultimately you can win, but at the same time, during The Witcher, the people's lives that you kind of impact on as this character Geralt of Rivia, who I really like, and some people don't. You can't go through the game without feeling like down about one of the decisions that you made, no matter which way you play it. And it's really, really good. Like I cannot recommend picking it up enough. As well as that, like what were we gonna say? I'm sorry.
Oh, and I was gonna say it's like refreshing, isn't it, to have something like that,
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
in like an RPG that's typically sort of, you know, it sort of gives you the conduit to make decisions your way and build a character in your sort of vision, and you know, you're sort of like playing God to these people.
Yeah, definitely.
But Geralt's very much a character that he has his own predetermined story, and in terms of that quest, you know, you're talking about there, for example, like it has a predetermined outcome in the sense that it's, as much as you try to make things, you know, go favourable for like one party or the other, it's not going to end well. So,
definitely, like, and a lot of games that try and do the whole question thing, they signpost which outcome is going to, they give you an idea of what's the right decision to make, and The Witcher doesn't. The Witcher sends you in completely blind, and I'm sure there are things that I've missed in there, like clues and stuff that I've missed by not being a long time fan of the series. But at the same time, The Witcher will send you into a 50-50 decision, a yes or no decision, where you can either choose to do one thing or do the other thing, and they have completely different outcomes. And it won't give you any inkling as to which is the outcome that's going to be the one that you want, sort of thing. It's going to be like, wait till you meet the tree, and you'll understand.
Oh yeah.
You'll understand when you meet the tree, and you do it completely wrong, like all of us here did, I think. But it's just, I can't quantify it how good this game is. It's the only game I've ever played where I've gone through the entire storyline. I've tried to do like as many side quests as I can, but I haven't really focused on them as such. Like maybe I don't know, maybe 40 hours or so, 50 hours of the main story, and then I probably split quite evenly and did like another 50, 60 hours of side quests and stuff. And I finished the game, and I was at a level with it where I was completely happy with it. I felt like I'd got what I wanted from the game, and I didn't need to do any more. Like I'd seen the bits that I'd wanted to see. Like it's one of the only games I've ever played where I've actively like looked through the bestiary, as it's called in the game. It's like a list of all the monsters that you kind of collect a description for them when you kill them for the first time, and and it's like I've genuinely read through the whole thing, and that's not the kind of gamer that I am personally that does that unless I'm really like 100% in love with the game. And it is incredible. Like it's just amazing. Even the character of Geralt of Rivia, like the guy is so deadpan, and whilst some people see that as him having no emotion, and I suppose that's a fair comment, really. He doesn't show that kind of emotion, which is, in fairness to the developers, it is part of the character. But there's one dialogue like late on in the game where he's talking to this other Witcher in a boat, and and I genuinely, like, I was driving my little boat, and I burst out laughing, like in real life, because this deadpan character of Geralt has genuinely just parred someone down, like to the point where I couldn't even recognize him anymore. It was, but seriously, I think honestly I could talk about this game all night, so I'm going to stop now. But it really is incredible. And before we finish, I think someone touched on it earlier, but the combat is really good, and all of the gameplay is really good, and they seem to have really worked on traversal and stuff to make it a lot more enjoyable than the previous Witcher games, which I've obviously seen, played and stuff. But yeah, really good game. You should buy it.
you know, round of applause, man.
I got a bit.
Great.
I teared up listening to that.
I know, mate. Honestly, I agree. I think
it felt like a best man speech or something.
You know what, man? I really did like that game a lot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like that's again testament. Like, I didn't even finish it, and I really, relatively speaking, I don't think I got very far into it. But that just shows you how much fun I had with that little time I had. You know, I'm gonna go back and finish it, but
I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I mean, you only got to look online at all the other publications Game of the Year lists, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be there at the top, man. Or
you know what?
Like
I actually want to have I want to level 1 criticism at it.
Okay.
And I think that I would rather, as much as I enjoyed and I felt very happy for the characters at the end because I'd done it in a certain way, I'd looked into the good ending, so to speak. But I almost wish that the game had done the same thing that The Last of Us does at the end, which I'm not going to spoil either. And
Yeah.
I wish it had given me like a shit miserable outcome. I really wish that it would have, and completely subverted all of my expectations and given me this, or even like a half and half one where some bad things happened and some good things happened. Because I just feel like I feel like the ending may have been too obvious for a game that tells its story so beautifully.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, yeah.
But that's just picking. I'm nitpicking now. It's not really a big criticism at all. It's
you just feel like you got to say one. Well, yeah, you got to just if there is one thing, then it's that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, if more game story, especially the end of the story was like The Last of Us, man, the world would be a better but more sad place.
Miserable place.
Yeah, yeah. But no, that's good, man. I think that's a solid list, man.
I think so.
Diverse enough with your list, Joe, as well, because me and Dan almost. I mean, it was pretty much the same, but a few differences. But yeah, I think I wanted to add a little section on the end for an honourable mention section for just, and not really to go. I mean, we've been waffling on now for nearly 3 hours, which is amazing. It's astounding to me. But I just wanted to add like a few games on that didn't quite make my list, and obviously you guys did the same as well. But yeah, games that didn't quite get into the top 5, but they were very, very close. So I had 5 picks, and they were Bloodborne, which we've obviously spoke about, White Knight, which we've talked about as well, and Halo 5 Guardians, which they've all been discussed and all that. But I feel like, and Halo 5 I've just picked up over the last couple of days, and I'm really enjoying that game. And the other 2 were Mortal Kombat X, which came out in April, and I'm not a huge fighting game fan. Like, I'm okay at Mortal Kombat, and I'm pretty good at Smash Brothers, but other than that, I don't really touch them. But Mortal Kombat was fantastic. I think they've somehow stripped it back to its roots of classic 2D fighting, but revolutionised it at the same time. And I really don't know how they've managed to do that, but it's amazing. I was really hooked on that game. And the other one is Ori and the Blind Forest, because that game's a beautiful game. It's really good Metroidvania style game. I think I recommend that for most people as well, because I think that's on sale currently for about £10 as well. So I think that's a really good pickup. So they're my 5. Have you guys got any to add to that as well? Or?
I've got one.
But Joe may go first.
Oh, go on. What's yours, Joe?
The one game that I didn't get to talk about is that would have made it's a re-release, so it's not really like anything sort of.
Oh, is it State of Decay?
Yeah, State of Decay.
Okay.
If you get a chance to pick up State of Decay, and you know you're into that kind of that whole zombie thing, I think it's a really good game. Like it's a really like it's an indie game, but it feels almost more finished than a lot of like indie games, or a lot more. It feels like it has a bigger budget than it does, or did. Sorry, I think. But at the same time, it's just good. Like it's open world, small map, but fairly detailed. Lots of nods to like the classic, like Romero films and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like, I mean, the reason why it's been re-released as Year 1 edition.
Yeah, that's why it's on the list.
Not really sure what's different. I mean, I haven't played State of Decay at all, so I'm not sure what's been
added. I think it comes with the DLC, man. I think I've not played the DLC, but
yeah.
you know, it's when I picked it up a couple of years back on 360, I really did enjoy it. And one thing I will mention about the game, which is really interesting, the way it approaches characters, because it's permadeath. So
it's like XCOM, isn't it?
Yeah, it is just like XCOM, except maybe with a little more. Whereas XCOM, you kind of project the character onto them with your mind, sort of thing. In State of Decay, they are very much characters, and although they aren't very well fleshed out or anything like that, they each have their own backstory, and when they're dead, and that's really Like you can be out in the wilderness and have one of them could get killed by something when you're away, or like a zombie or something, and that's them gone. You know, that's their whole story gone.
Yeah.
I think that's a really, really cool, harsh and intricate way of dealing with characters. It's cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think I've been a fan of that since XCOM anyway. So
Definitely.
but yeah, cool, man. What about you, Dan? Have you got any?
Yeah, I've got 3 games. I'm just going to reel them off the list, basically. I've got The Witcher 3, which would have been in my top 5, but I literally just haven't give that game enough time.
Yeah, yeah.
Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. It's technically a Game of the Year edition, but I'm putting it in there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And Halo 5, which is my first console shooter for about 3 years, and I'm really having fun with it. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. Cool.
Those are my honourable mentions. Not going to dwell any more than that.
Now there is something as well I wanted to quickly do where we literally reel off some names of games that if there is any, because I know I purposely didn't tell you just to see sort of if there is truly anything that's sticking in your head at this point.
Right.
Is there any games that you're looking forward to next year that are coming out next year? Literally, because I'll give you mine. Like I'm looking forward to Resident Evil 0 next month, remastered in HD. Mirror's Edge Catalyst, I reckon that's going to be a lot of fun. And Quantum Break as well, the Remedy like sort of spiritual successor to Alan Wake, when that finally comes out on Xbox One, if it ever bloody comes out. So there are mine. But what about you guys? Are you looking forward to anything off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, whatever the next Battlefield game is going to be, because I'm sure it'll be a numbered edition, and I'm sure it'll be amazing.
Yeah.
The Division, obviously, because
oh god, yeah, Division, yeah.
I've heard people talking about experiences they've had in the alpha, and apparently it's supposed to be really good. The new Ghost Recon game looks absolutely phenomenal. I'm sure it won't be because it's Ubisoft making it at the end of the day. But
I'm sure you'll climb some towers and stuff.
Oh, you bet you'll climb some towers, do some comms. But that game looks absolutely phenomenal from what they've put out so far. But I'm sure it won't be. Aside from that, I think I'm looking forward more than anything actually to picking up some of the older games from this generation as they come down in price. Like, I'm looking forward to picking up Dying Light at some point. I'm looking forward to playing City Skylines when I finally get off my ass and get my PC, well, get a PC sorted. And I'm also looking forward to playing something else that I've completely forgotten, so I'll forget about that one.
Fair
I
enough.
think that's pretty cool. I did want to say as well, I've completely forgotten. I know you'll be looking forward to it, Joe, as well, is Mafia 3.
Oh god, yeah. Can we talk about Mafia 2
Yes.
Can we talk about
if you
Mafia
want.
2?
Go for it.
You know what? You should...
Mafia 2, sorry. Talk about Mafia 2. Oh, yeah, go on. Yeah, sure, yeah.
No, I think between us, I think this is it's definitely one of my favourite games of all time. I think it's one of Aaron's favourite games of all time, and I'm not sure about you, Dan, is it? Would you say?
I had a lot of fun with it, but you know my qualms with it.
Yeah.
Like the linearity of it.
Yeah.
But I have since played through Mafia 2 again this year, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I like that game a lot. And Mafia 3 looks incredible.
Because I understand your criticisms about the linearity of it, but at the same time, I think that's a conscious choice by the developer, and because of that, I think maybe that it'd be unfair to judge it as an open world game when I don't think it's intended to be taken that way.
Yeah, I don't think it is an open world game really. It's got sort of a nice hub, but
I like it. You know what?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Way to go at it. It's an interesting way to go at an open world. I think it's because it's like the world's there and the missions all happen in the world, but at the same time, it's not really there for you to explore. It's just there to serve as the backdrop for the missions, which is cool. I think it's an interesting way to take it.
It's literally like Mario 64, where you're in that little house mansion thing, and you go into the paintings.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing. It's literally nothing more than a sort of more immersive branch between missions.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, I think I can't wait for Mafia 3. Mafia 2 is excellent.
I'm really looking forward to the setting of Mafia 3 as well. New Orleans, man.
Oh yeah, it looks so cool, man.
It does look really cool.
What about you, Dan? Are you? Oh, go on, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say if they get it anywhere close to the quality of Mafia 2, then it's a sensational one.
Yeah. Agreed. What about you, Dan?
Games next year. The Division, I guess. I'm really looking forward to. And Dark Souls 3, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Can't really think of any of the Q4 releases that have been announced, but I'm sure there are plenty that I've missed.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games that if we had more time to look into again, we'd obviously have a bit more to talk about. But I purposely did that to see what was already in your head, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're a good selection. To be fair, though.
Definitely.
One thing I did want to quickly say is, I don't know whether I'm looking forward to No Man's Sky.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on it because, I don't really know much about it. But I mean, I just wanted to mention it because I know a lot of people are super hyped for it, and I just can't. Hopefully, I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong and it to be like blow me out the water and blow everything else out the water around it, but I just can't see it being as good as it's promised to be. Because there's a lot of expectations like on the dev's shoulders for that game. You know, he's promised quite a lot, so we'll see if they can deliver on it.
Time will tell.
Time will tell, man. Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
No, not particularly.
To my knowledge, no. I think that'd be a good place to end it, I suppose.
And I've realised now I've realised this has been in surplus of 3 hours, which is, I mean, I know I chat shit, but that's like
Ridiculous.
That's a lot of time spent, man. So I might split this in half, but yeah, I think that's about it. Then we've covered everything on the list, really.
Yeah,
Just having a quick look. Yeah, that's about it. But yeah, thanks for partaking in this, boys.
Yeah, no worries.
It's been fun. I've always wanted to do an end of year thing.
Now here we are.
Forgot.
Doing an end of year thing.
But again, to
be fair,
I think we'll end it then. What did you say, Joe? Sorry.
We did an end of thing. Never mind. I've just made a mess of it.
We did the Dr. Wally. No, but yeah, thanks for the 10. If anyone's actually watching this or listening to this, thanks, because I realise it's like 3 people from the West Midlands talking about games, man.
Right, but I'm qualified to talk about games. In fairness,
yeah, not at all, man.
You've got no reason to have listened to that. Thank you.
Yeah, but thanks if anyone has listened to it. Thanks very much, and yeah, fuck EA basically. So yeah, thanks very much.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, winnies. There you go.
Goodbye, winnies. We need to see.